All right, boys and girls. So today we're going to look at a property, a very special property called the distributive property. So we have looked at a couple different properties before: the associative property, commutative property, identity property. This is another characteristic of multiplication and grouping that will help us simplify expressions or work with expressions. It's called the distributive property. We actually did kind of the opposite of the distributive property when we did factoring. So you can see here's an expression. We have two groups of x plus 3. That's how you could read that, or 2 times x plus 3. So what we can do is use the distributive property to get rid of the parentheses. We can simplify it by getting rid of the parentheses. Now, normally we could, if this was a number instead of a variable, we can just add and then multiply by 2. But because we cannot add x plus 3, there'd be no way to ungroup these or get rid of the parentheses besides using the distributive property. We're going to use models at first, and then I'm going to show you a shortcut that we kind of actually saw when we factored that will help us use the distributive property even more easily. So again, this says 2 groups of x plus 3. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually draw those 2 groups. Here's one group. Here's another group. So in each group we have an x, and I'm just going to use like a little dot, I guess, for the ones. So in each group we have 2 groups of x plus 3. So distributive property says, well, let's ungroup them. Let's put the x's together. Let's put the ones together. Let's see what we have. So I'm going to take out these x's and put them together. We have 2 x's. Then I'm going to take out all the ones and put them together. We have 6 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now we have an expression here without parentheses. And we can write this expression as 2x plus 6 ones. 2x plus 6. This has the same value as the expression we started with, 2 groups of x plus 3. We have 2 x's and 6 ones. All right, let's check out this next one. This one says 4 groups of 2x plus 3. So we're going to draw 4 groups. One, whoop, that was kind of a bad rectangle, but I'm going to make these other ones a little better. So we have 4 groups. In each group, we have 2 x's and 3 ones. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Forgot the 2 x's. 2 x's and 3 ones per group. 2 x's and 3 ones per group. So now what we want to do is ungroup them. We want to put all the x's together that we have. We want to put the ones together that we have, and we're going to write a new expression, a simplified expression without parentheses. So in total, we have 2, 4, 6, 8 x's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we have 3, 6, 9, 12 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So when we ungroup that expression, we get 8x, or 8 x's, plus 12 ones. So that would be the expression for 4 groups of 2x plus 3. These are equivalent. They have the same value. It's just that 8x plus 12 is ungrouped. There are no parentheses anymore. All right, let's try this next one here. We got 3 groups of 3x and 4y. So I'm going to draw 3 groups. 1, 2, 3. In each group, I'm going to put 3 x's and 4 y's. 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. So I got 3 x's and 4 y's per group. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 x's, 4 y's. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what we're going to do, again, is we're going to take out all the x's, put them together. We're going to take out all the y's, put them together, and we'll see how many we have. 3, 6, 9, x's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 4, 8, 12 y's. 12 y's. So I'm writing these cursive y's, which they're kind of taking up too much space, but that's okay. So now I can write an expression without parentheses. I have 9 x's plus we have 12 y's. So the expression would be 9x plus 12y. So that would be like the simplified expression without any parentheses. All right, let's try one more like this, and then I'm going to show you the shortcut that you can use to find that expression using the distributive property, which again is it's like ungrouping. We have 2 groups here, 2 groups, and there are 3 things in each group. 3 x's, 2 y's, and 5 1's. So I'm going to put those in each group. Same thing in this group. 3 x's, 2 y's, 5 1's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So now we're going to ungroup them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 x's. We have 3 in each group. That's 6 total x's. We also have 4 y's. And we also have what appears to be 10 1's. 10 1's. So this will have 3 terms, an x term, a y term, and a 1's term for this expression. So when we ungroup them and put them together, we'll have 6 x's. We'll have 4 y's. And plus we'll have 10 1's. And that will be the expression that we can write without parentheses. Again, distributive property is like ungrouping. We're ungrouping the groups, and we're writing an expression without parentheses. Now, I'm going to show you a way you can do this without having to do the model. There's a simple trick to it, and it involves arrows. It's very simple, it's very beautiful, it's very elegant. Can't wait to show it to you. Here we go. We're going to go to page 30. Here we go, page 30. So here it is, the shortcut. So if we were going to do the model for this one, it would take quite a bit of time. We'd have to draw 6 groups, 8 1's in each group, and then 1 x in each group. Instead, I like to use arrows to help me with the distributive property. The distributive property helps us ungroup. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to think, well, if I have 6 groups of 8, that means in total I have 6 times 8 1's. So I'm going to do 6 times 8, which is 48. That's how many total 1's I have in those 6 groups. I'm also going to multiply the 6 by the x, the other term in there. 6 times x is just 6x. So when you use the distributive property, you're going to multiply the number outside the parentheses by all the numbers in the parentheses. 6 times 8 means 48. 6 times x is 6x. So the expression would be 48 plus 6x without the parentheses. That's the shortcut. So the key thing here is that you have to make sure that you multiply both terms by the number in the outside of the parentheses. 10 groups of x plus 4. That's 10 groups of x. It's 10 groups of 4. So 10 times x would just be, 10 times x. Plus 10 times 4 would be 40. So again, the thing that trips people up is that they forget to multiply both. So you got to make sure that you have an arrow for each term in the parentheses. 7 times 3x. If you have 3 x's in each group, you have 7 groups. 7 times 3x would be 21x, 21 x's. Plus 7 times 5 is 35. All right. Let's check this one out. Same sort of deal here. We're going to multiply both terms in the parentheses by what's outside. There we go. If you have 5 x's in each group, 3 groups, 3 times 5x is going to be 15x, plus 3 groups of 2y. There's 3 groups, 2 y's in each. That's going to be 6 y's. Or 3 times 2y is 6y. So you can see, like, the shortcut method with the arrows is a lot less time, but you're doing the same thing. So for this one, notice you have 3 terms in here. So you need to multiply the 2 3 times. We're going to multiply 2 by 4x, by 3y, and by 7. Well, what's 2 times 4x? 2 groups of 4x would be 8x. 2 times 4 is 8, and then we have the x there, 8x. 2 times 3y would be 6y's. And then 2 times 7 would be 14. So this one here, we only need the 2 arrows because there's only 2 terms in there. 5 times 4x would be 20x, plus 5 times 5x would be 25x. Now, wait a minute. They're both x's. So if they're both x's, we could leave it like that, but 20x plus 5x or 25x would be 45x. I mean, this step's fine. That shows the distributive property, but I just noticed that both of those variables were the same. So you could add those together to get 45x, but you don't have to worry about that right now. All right, if you want to try these two on your own, go for it. If not, you can do them with me. So 3 groups of 2x plus 8. Again, we need 2 arrows. 3 times 2x would be 6x. 3 times 8 plus would be 24. And the last one is kind of like the one we saw, the first one in this row would be, we have to multiply 3 times because there's 3 terms in the parentheses. We're going to multiply those 3 each by 6. 6 times 3x would be 18x. 6 times 5y is 30y. Plus 6 times 9x would be 54x. So the reason this is kind of like the opposite of factoring is we're taking an expression with parentheses and with groups, and we're ungrouping. Factoring was the opposite. We took a expression without parentheses, and we made it one with parentheses with groups. Okay, so we're going to do a couple distributive property problems here, and we're going to see how distributive property can help us find the answers to these. So this one says, Fran is making a pair of earrings and a bracelet for 4 friends. Each pair of earrings uses 4.5 centimeters of wire, and each bracelet uses 13 centimeters. Use the distributive property to find out how much wire, total wire, is needed. Now, when I see 4 friends, she's doing the same thing. I didn't mean to cross it out, but she's doing the same thing for each friend. So she's got 4 groups. She's making 4 groups of earrings and bracelets. Each earring needs 4.5 centimeters, plus each bracelet needs 13 centimeters of wire, I guess. Now, we could use distributive property here to find the answer. We can multiply the 4 by both numbers inside the parentheses. That's one way you can solve this. So what you would do is 4 times 4.5. I might have to do that off to the side. 4.5 times 4 would be 5 times 4 is 20. 4 times 4 is 16 plus 2 is 8. 1 decimal place there, so it'd be 18. 4 times 4.5 would be 18. 4 times 13. Well, if I didn't know that, I could also do that off to the side. Don't mind if I do. 3 times 4 is 12. 4 times 4 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So 4 times 13 would be 52. And now we can add those together. 18 plus 52, well, 8 plus 52 would be 60. So 18 plus 52 would be 70 centimeters. So again, we use the distributive property. We can use it to help ungroup. All right, this one's kind of similar. Again, if you want to try this on your own, you could pause it and see what you get and compare it to mine. But I'm going to pause for a second here. I'll be right back. Okay, I had a visitor come in the room, so I had to pause the video. But there would have been no pause for you, I guess. So there it is. All right, let's try this one. Each day, Martin lifts weights for 10 minutes and runs on the treadmill for 25. Use the distributive property. Find the total minutes that Martin exercises for 7 days. So here I'm thinking, like, what are the groups? Are the groups the 10 minutes of weightlifting? Are the groups the 25 minutes of treadmill? Or are the groups the 7 days? I'm thinking that the 7 days, that's the group. So I have 7 groups. And in each group or each day, he does the same exercise. 10 minutes of lifting weights. And then he also does 25 minutes of the treadmill. So that's how you could write an expression with groups. Now we're going to use distributive property, to ungroup this. So we're going to need 2 arrows because we have 2 numbers in the parentheses. Now also be aware that you could add these together, 10 plus 25, and just multiply by 7. This is just another way of looking at it. You can also use the distributive property. 7 times 10 would be 70. So that means in 7 days, he'd spent 70 minutes lifting weights. 7 times 25 would be like 7 quarters, which is like, which would be $1.75. So $1.75. That's how much time he spent on the treadmill for 7 days. And then we can add these to get the answer. It would be 245 minutes in total. Good for Martin. Good for him. All right, we're going to try a couple more of these. Let's go to the next page. All right. What does it say? Sue is baking 5 batches. This is page 31, by the way. Sue is baking 5 batches of cookies and cupcakes. The cookies use 2 cups of sugar per batch, and the cupcakes use 3 cups of sugar per batch. Using the distributive property, find out how many total cups are needed. So what are the groups? Are the groups the 5 batches? I'm thinking they are. They're certainly not the 2 cups of either ingredient. So 5 batches, a batch is kind of like a group. So we have 5 groups, and we're going to see how much sugar we need in total. So each group of cookies needs 2, plus each group of cupcakes needs 3. So again, you could, if it didn't say use the distributive property, you could just add these together and then multiply by 5. But we're going to ungroup these numbers using distributive property. We're going to multiply the 5 by both numbers inside the parentheses. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 5 times 3 is 25. 10 plus 25 is 35. All right.